Alright, so here we go. First narration. This is the first game of the day, of the 5th day I've ever played paintball. And I'm playing at Black River, which is the paintball field in Andrew, North Carolina. And I decided to do these commentaries because I was writing really long descriptions and I didn't think you'd want to read, so I just went ahead and talked about it. So at the beginning of the game here, I'm talking to my teammates, trying to get a feel for who's on my team, and I asked this guy if he's played before because he has an Empire Helix mask, which is the same as my own, and it is not a rental mask. And so he says yes, and just to note, I was aiming at my teammate, which is not really a good thing to do, but my finger was definitely off the trigger, and I wanted to get him on camera. So looking back, I should not have taken those shots right here because that could have potentially notified the teammates on the other team, also known as the enemies, of where I was, and could have got me shot, which is what happens to this guy. Well, not really because he shot. It's because he was going bunker to bunker from the beginning of the game, and ideally you just want to get to where you're going, which I usually go about halfway up the field at the beginning of the game. I apologize because I shoot him in the goggles, which can potentially like smear up his goggles all day, and since this is the first game of the day, that would really stink. So I get this other person who's behind whatever that you want to call it, a bunker, ladder, or whatever. And I shoot across the map because that's the fort, and that's where most people are on the other team in this game because it's the most defendable strategic location. And sorry about my camera going down, by the way. I actually had the GoPro mount on backwards, so every time I would shoot, my camera would tilt down a little bit, and I'm just glad I remembered to pick it back up. So I'm looking around just like I did at the beginning, go to the barrels, see where the enemy is, see where my teammates are, get a bearings for things. It's usually what I do at my first bunker when I break out. And since this is quite a distanced breakout than what you would usually do, but it's the first game of the day, I was excited. And here I'm talking to my teammate Jason. He asks where the enemy is, and I say back there in the back right. As far as I know, they're there. Turns out they weren't, but they're her. And I try to get him to go into this bunker, but since he's not looking at me, he's doing what he needs to be doing, which is looking around for other players. He doesn't really get what I'm trying to say to him, and I have to tell him a few times, but that's not his fault. It's just one of those things that happens in the heat of it. And I decide to make a run because I realize I've opened up a hole in the defenses. I see this person, shoot twice, try to get their attention back towards that way, and then I run around here, 2 shots going in. I'm counting on that eliminating, but just to be sure, I get out of their field of view so they don't shoot at me if they're not out, and I offer them the surrender, but the shots had already gotten them out. And that, I just like to be sure whenever the other players are out. And sorry you have to hear me say same team so many times, but whenever you circle around the enemy, it's hard to tell for my teammates that I'm on their team because obviously I'm not on the right side. And so this guy stops shooting, I take the chance to go in here, and now I'm in the enemy's fort. And this first person I offer surrender to, but they don't respond, and so I have to shoot him once. I didn't bonus ball him or anything. That's the first time playing paintball. Green jacket. And this other person I didn't offer surrender because that's my buddy Tyler, and he probably would have just shot me anyway. And I call same team here. That's not because I mistook this enemy player as a team. No, it's because I saw a teammate shooting, but I realized it wasn't at me, and I realized it was at this guy. And I look at him right there, and sure enough, he's not shooting at me. He's shooting at this other guy who I just take out right there because there's really nothing he could have done. We could see him on both sides. And that finished out the game. And I don't know that because I haven't been around the entire field yet. I've been around most of it, and so I don't know. And I have to communicate with my teammates here a little bit, saying that I'm not on the other team because that's in rec ball. If you don't have some kind of team marker like a jersey color or like an armband or a mask band or something, it's hard to tell who's on your team. And I stay walking or staying or whichever. I would have said no walk because one of the teams walks across the field at the start of the game to start back there, and I was not on that team. So that's the no walk team, and that's how you communicate which team you were on. And so this guy's on my team. I'm looking around, wondering if that's the end of the game because I thought it was. And here I see that it is the end of the game. So that's it. That was a pretty quick paintball game, actually, especially for a woods ball. That's like a speedball length woods ball game.